Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where this time we're doing another character review and analysis. This time for Maz Kanata from the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I know a lot of people don't care too much about the sequel trilogy characters. Can't really blame you there. There's not a ton of depth and good writing when it comes to a lot of the characters from the sequel trilogy. But Maz might actually be one of the more interesting ones that we got. I think at surface level, Maz is simply meant to kind of serve as the quote unquote Yoda character of the movies, where she is approached as this wise old being that is able to give the heroes information or wisdom or kind of guide them in the direction that they need to go. But she has a lot of mystery surrounding her, which I think sometimes is a good thing, especially in the case of the sequel films where people were giving characters less than interesting or sensical backstories. I think having a character that is given a more vague and mysterious backstory is a lot more beneficial. If you're going to give them a backstory that makes no sense or breaks canon or is just bad, then I'd rather you just keep it vague and mysterious. And that's kind of what happens with Maz Kanata. Um, she's someone that clearly was a longtime associate or friend of Han Solo, but there's an element of the Force to her that makes it interesting because she seems to have a knowledge and understanding of how the Force works. She's able to kind of comprehend Leia passing into the Force in order to reach out to her son. She's able to kind of give Rey the steps to take the Skywalker lightsaber and begin her true journey as a Jedi. So she's not your typical like space pirate or this person that runs this palace and has an ongoing business in the galaxy. She seems to know a lot more than she may be letting on. Um, I personally love the fan theory that somehow Maz Kanata is connected to the Wills, like maybe she is an ancestor or somehow related to the Order of the Wills. The Wills being the ones that essentially are the keepers of the Force. We see them in the Clone Wars. And while she's not their species, it's still a fun theory. I don't think that was ever the intention of the people that created the character, but still a fun theory. I think it makes the whole universe feel more interconnected. But um, yeah, she gives very solid advice. She's definitely very knowledgeable about the nuances of good and evil, which is something I can appreciate about her character. She is by no means as effective as Yoda was to Luke in the original trilogy. But that's a hard comparison to make because she doesn't really have that same relationship with Rey. She's just more of this guiding figure that just kind of pops in and out to different members of the Rebel Alliance, or sorry, the Resistance. When things are carbon copies of each other, they tend to get mixed up. But not a bad character by any means. I think they may further explore her character, being that she's one of the few from the sequel trilogy that people don't completely hate. It seems like, but I could be wrong on that. Yeah, Maz Kanata, I'm gonna give her a 7 out of 10. That's a high mark for how I feel about most of the sequel trilogy characters, but again, she's used sparingly, and that's a good thing. And she's not one of the worst written characters of the Star Wars franchise that we have seen in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So, not going to dwell too much on it. Maz Kanata, 7 out of 10. And that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. You don't want to miss out on any of our Star Wars content. And as always, may the Force be with you. Let's blow up that like button and go home.